Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is Elaine and today I'll be going over my top 10 most used bags of 2025. So for my subscribers here, you probably were like, Elaine, you just did a top most used bags list. Well, that one was for the last half of 2025. So that is going to be different for the full year. It is a combination of the one that I did, I think it was in July or August, where I talked about my top most used bags for the first half of 2025. I just talked about my top most used bags for the last half of 2025, and now I'm just going to combine them. Is it a little repetitive? Maybe, but you will see that the full list itself is different. Let's get into it. At the bottom of this list for the most used bags is my Valextra Iside. Right now I have a raincoat on it, as you saw in my last most used video. This is the Iside in the mini size. I love this very durable leather bag. Honestly, I would love to get a second one. If this bag tops the list again next year, I might look into getting a darker version of this bag. But yes, very useful. Can use for any occasion. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's also very lightweight and durable. So I use this bag for a total of 11 days. And next on my list is the Delvaux Mini Cool Box, also in a white color. I guess, you know, light colors is my jam this year. This is the Nano Cool Box. Both Valextra and Delvaux are highly underrated brands. Between the two, I actually would lean towards Valextra just because I like their type of leather. Like, it's not for everyone. If you don't like Hermes Epsom, Valextra probably won't be the brand for you because that's what a lot of their bags are in. It's in that type of like coated leather. But I do find that because they use that type of leather, all their bags are very light. Delvaux, also very well made, beautiful bags. They either do a smooth or grained calfskin, and their grained calfskin looks more like Clemence from Hermes. Because of that, Delvaux bags to me tend to be a lot heavier, but they're definitely luxurious, very well made. Love these two bags. And next on my list is my Hermes Toolbox 20. So if you saw my other review video where for the last half of 2025, this was actually number 3, but on the full list, it's 3rd from the bottom. So I use this for 13 days so far this year. Really love this bag. As I said in my last review, cannot get enough of it. And at 15 days is my Hermes Evelyne 1. So there's no back pocket here. And this one is in Barenia. So this is the old Barenia. It's very smooth. Scratches pretty easily, but you know, it also, that's part of the patina. And I actually have a third-party strap on it so that it's more like a Hobo bag. And I love this bag. For me, I love an Evelyne that's a little more structured. So the leather has to be fairly stiff. So for me, that's Barenia here, or if I found an Epsom one, I would also be open to that. They no longer make the Evelyne in Epsom, but like older iterations will be in Epsom, or they have some. Right now, I think that all they make it is in Clemence. This is vintage from 2000. This is number 6, which is the Bottega Veneta Wallace. I got it in the summer of this past year and I used it a lot then. I also did a full review of this along with another one of the bags, which I'll talk about in a bit. But yes, love this bag. I mean, now that it's the end of the year again, I probably will be wearing this a lot more. So we'll see where this lands for next year. And the one that always is on the top most used bags list is my Loewe small puzzle bag. Again, this is, you know, keeps showing up as one of my favorite bags. 2025, it sits at number 5. I did not use it maybe as much this year, but this is a forever bag. This is a classic for me. I use it a lot more when I'm traveling, and I don't think I traveled all that much this year. So I used this for a total of 19 times in 2025. And number 4 on this list is the Loewe Hammock Hobo. Again, this is something that always shows up in my top most used bags list, along with the puzzle. This is my go-to crossbody bag. I also love that as a top handle. It's very easy to use. And of course, I love to accessorize it. So number 5, number 4, let's keep going. Number 3 is my Plume 32 bag from Hermes in Togo, and the color is gold. So if you saw my most used bags for the first half of 2025 list, I had a lot of tan bags. And yeah, so tan, I mean, it's kind of a year-round color. I wouldn't necessarily say it goes with my skin tone, but I do find that since I wear like a lot of blacks it does kind of go with my outfits. I use this bag a lot when I was carrying a laptop. It does fit over my shoulder, but it's quite snug. Like, so it's not comfortable, but like in a pinch, I could throw it over my shoulder. This would then officially be my most used Hermes bag of 2025, is the Plume. So yeah. Now, I don't know what that says about me, but I'm not a Birkin gal. I guess I'm a Plume and Toolbox lady. That's just who I am. All right. Number 3 and number 2 on the list is my Loewe Mini Lazaro. I got this, I think, at the end of last year and was a fast favorite. I love that it both has a small top handle as well as a crossbody strap, though the crossbody is quite skinny, so it does hurt if I do load up this bag, but I don't really load up this bag. This is sort of just like my errands, daily bag. It fits everything that I need, and I really love this bag. You know, I wanted it when it first came out, I think in 2019, ended up not getting it, and then I got it for a really good price last year, so I was very happy. I used this bag 34 days. Did I say how much time I used the Plume? Sorry, I meant to say I used the Plume 26 times, but anyways, so I used this one for 34 days, and yeah, it's been looking great. So can you guess which one is my most used bag of 2025? Hint, if you already saw my other review, it's the same #1 spot, and that is the Valextra Mochi pouch. What a surprise winner. Honestly, as I talked about in that last other review, you know, I got this in the summer earlier this year, and I ended up using it all the time, and it's such a surprise because like lavender is, I would never have guessed. I mean, I think this was my gateway bag into pastels. So, you know, Toolbox I just got a couple months ago, and that's made it to this top 10 list. And then if you've seen my recent unboxings, there's a lot of pastel in there, and I think it's all thanks to this Valextra Mochi pouch in the color Wisteria. And what's funny is actually this is called Wisteria, which is like a lavender, which I always thought Wisteria was kind of pink, but you know, it is light purple, right? And then, but this is called Glycine, which is Wisteria in French. So on my top 10 list, I have 2 bags in Wisteria, which is a surprise to me because honestly, this is normally what I go for. Like this lineup here, that's my color, or those have been the ones that I've been kind of wearing and gravitating towards for the last several years. And now here I am in my 40s, well into my 40s, and I'm getting into pastels. Like, I don't know what's going on. Is it hormones? Is it my age? But yes, I mean, maybe I just need a nice pop of color these days. My Mochi pouch, I used it for 37 days. Most used for the first half of 2025, most used for the last half of 2025, and they're both over 30 days for this year. So as you can, I guess, you know, I have a size type. This is what I gravitate towards. I did a side-by-side comparison of the Valextra Mochi pouch with the Bottega Wallace bag. So again, this was number 2 for the last half of 2025, and this was number 1 for the last half, and very similar shape. Look at all the tan. Honestly, I definitely have a color type. So I do have a lot of other colors, you know, in my closet wardrobe, but these are just the ones that I've been grabbing. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for those of you guys who found it a little repetitive, but like I said, it's different. Again, you know, 2025 was my gold tan year, and that's what I pretty much reached for, with a little surprising bit of pastel. This is why I like to keep track of what I wear, because I never would have guessed that these 2 bags would have made it in my top most used bag. Like, I never would have guessed that this Valextra Mochi pouch in lavender, or, you know, Wisteria, would have been a top most used bag, because in my mind, these brown bags are the ones that I go for, right? So I highly recommend tracking your wears. But yes, this was my most used for 2025. Are you guys interested in my least used? Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be kind of interesting to me as well, I guess, because I mean, there's a lot of bags that I don't use. I've already started getting rid of some. So, you know, if you've watched some of my other videos here, you would have seen that I've gotten rid of a handful. Maybe I'm feeling the whole recap part of it because I'm recapping 2025, but you know, I started this YouTube channel in June. It's been about 6 months, and I really appreciate, you know, all of you guys who've subscribed and who've appreciated my reviews and have said that it was useful. I really hope to bring, you know, a little more variety to the bag tube world. I know I have a kind of different sort of taste in bags, and I also tend to gravitate all towards like secondhand and vintage. And I hope to, you know, share that world with you guys and also encourage those of you guys who have thought about dabbling in the secondhand or vintage world to go for it. You know, like the value can't be beat. Construction quality was also a lot better back then. Not to sound like an old lady, but you know, it's kind of true. I know authenticity is always a hot topic, especially when you're talking about the secondhand market. I agree. It's a little scary out there. In general, technology has gotten better for authentication services and processes. As for me, you know, I've been buying secondhand and vintage bags 20 years. Yeah, so pretty much ever since the beginning, I've been going with secondhand just because my budget wouldn't allow for it. I found most of them through eBay. I've tried a bunch of authentication services, and now, you know, I've gotten to the point where I can kind of, for the most part, tell when something's real or not real. Anyways, I've totally gone off tangent here, but thank you guys so much for watching. And I don't think this will be my last video of the year, but in case it is, I hope to see you guys next year. We'll see what 2026 brings. Probably more bags, hopefully not too many. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.